Hello, welcome to Today in History. My name is Tonye Afiesi Mama. It's the 7th of August. Let's roll back the blind to the year 1876. On this day, Mata Hari was born. I have featured her in at least 2 videos. So check the link out. Check the link here in the video, your top right hand corner of this video, to find out more about this lady. But apparently she was a spy and an exotic dancer. So there's more in the link above. Just check it out and find out more about this fascinating lady. Let's move on to the year 1903. His name is Louis Leakey. Born in Kenya, he was an archaeologist and paleoanthropologist. His nationality is the United Kingdom. Full name, Louis Seymour Bazett Leakey. His work was important in demonstrating that humans evolved in Africa, particularly through discoveries made at Olduvai Gorge with his wife, fellow paleoanthropologist Mary Leakey. Having established a program of paleoanthropological inquiry in Eastern Africa, he also motivated many future generations to continue this scholarly work. Several members of Leakey's family became prominent scholars themselves. Some of those he supported include Jane Goodall, Dianne Fossey, and Birute Galdikas. And obviously that's a quote from him. Louis Leakey says, "People frequently ask me why I devote so much time to seeking out facts about man's past. The past shows clearly that we all have a common origin, and that our differences in race, color, and creed are only superficial." I totally agree. If you listen to some of my videos, well, touched on this very touchy, pardon the pun, issue of race. Bottom line is, what Louis Leakey is saying here is, he shares my sentiments completely. We're all from a common ancestor, and we should not have racism divide us, sexism, all the isms, they're not good for our society. They bring bad blood. We have to move forward as a human race and stop fighting each other based on petty differences. Okay, 1904, we move on to that year, and Ralph Johnson Bunche, PhD, was born. And he was an American political scientist, an academic, and a diplomat who received the 1950 Nobel Peace Prize for his late 1940s mediation in Israel. He was the first African American to be so honored. He was involved in the formation and administration of the United Nations and played a major role in numerous peacekeeping operations sponsored by the UN. In 1963, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President John F. Kennedy. He died in 1971. We move on to the year 1925, and we're in the country of Nigeria and West Africa. And this man, his name is Herbert Bankole-Bright, along with this other guy, Ladipo, Solanke, pictured here. They formed the West African Students' Union. They led the group of 21 students who formed this union on this day in 1925. It was founded in London, and Solanke, so Ladipo Solanke pictured here, and Herbert Bankole-Bright, they were members of the National Congress of British West Africa. Okay, so that's Mr. Bright again. Now, this organization was a cultural organization for West Africans in Britain and the main African organization in the country for over 30 years. The West African Students' Union developed out of the activities of earlier student organizations such as the Union of Students of African Descent and the Nigeria Progress Union, established by Ladipo, Solanke and Amy Ashwood Garvey in London in July 1924. The West African Students' Union campaigned against racism in Britain and against colonialism and for independence in West Africa. Its activities included producing a journal and founding 4 hostels in London to provide lodgings and a home from home for West African students and other African visitors at a time when, as a result of racism and the color bar, in quote, it was difficult or impossible for them to secure accommodation. That must have been very, very difficult. It must have been very difficult. You come to a strange country and you're struggling to find a place to lay your head, in a cold place at that. Anyway, so these guys were pace setters. Kudos to them for their foresight in founding this union on this day. We move on to the year 1932. We're in Ethiopia, East Africa, and this guy, Abebe Bikila, was born. He was a marathon runner representing Ethiopia. He entered into the 1960 Olympic Games in Rome with a new pair of poorly fitted running shoes. Foregoing them due to the blisters they incurred, Bikila ran the marathon barefoot, breaking the world record with a time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, 16.2 seconds. Bikila won his second medal 4 years later wearing shoes at the Tokyo Olympics in 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 11.2 seconds. In 1969, Bikila was paralyzed in a car accident and died 4 years later of cerebral hemorrhage. Bikila is regarded as a national hero in Ethiopia, as Africa's first world record-breaking athlete in any sport and the first sub-Saharan African Olympic gold medalist. Let's move on to the year 1955, and this is a precursor of Sony. So this communications company is called Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering. And yes, 1955 was the year it was founded on this day, the 7th of August. It begins selling its first transistor radios, also in Japan. 1975, this beautiful stunner, Charlize Theron, a South African model, was born. On this day in 1975, she was born in Benoni in the then Transvaal province, now Gauteng province of South Africa, the only child of road constructionists, Gerda, born Maritz, and Charles Theron. Second Boer War military leader Dianne Theron was her great-great-uncle. She is from an Afrikaner family and her ancestry includes Dutch as well as French and German. Her French forebears were early Huguenot settlers in South Africa. Theron is an Occitan surname. So Theron is an Occitan surname, originally spelled Theron, so it's pronounced Thron in Afrikaans. She grew up on her parents' farm in Benoni near Johannesburg. Theron's father, an alcoholic, threatened both teenage Charlize and her mother while drunk, physically attacking her mother and firing a gun at both of them. Theron's mother retrieved her own handgun, shot back and killed him. The shooting was legally adjudged to have been self-defense and her mother faced no charges. Wow. Imagine growing up knowing that your mother killed your father. Anyway, guess it was in self-defense and no charges were brought against her. I bet it wasn't the first time. The woman had gotten fed up of his drunken behavior and threats. Okay, hopefully it wasn't her intention to kill him. Perhaps it was. Guess we'll never know. Last but not least, on this day, back in West Africa, in a country called Nigeria, Samuel Ekpe Akpabot, the renowned musicologist and composer, died in his hometown of Uyo. So the year is 2000. Uyo is the capital of Akwa Ibom State in southeastern Nigeria. He was educated at Baptist Academy and King's College, Lagos. At the latter, he was classmates with Emeka Ojukwu. If you remember, I mentioned Ojukwu in one of my videos as well, the video to do with Biafra, which I'm going to link up to this as well. So it's right there at the top right-hand corner. He was also classmates with Lateef Jakande, who was a former governor, I believe, of Lagos State, and Alex Ekweme, who was a former vice president of Nigeria. So these were top-ranking officials in Nigeria. And King's College was a place where future Nigerian leaders went to anyway. I did also mention that in my video. During this time at King's College, he took up playing football, becoming captain of the college's team in his senior year. From King's College, he proceeded to work as a sports journalist with the Daily Times. His love for football continued in the 1980s as a sports columnist. Okay, pretty multi-talented guy, Samuel Ekpe Akpabot. Died on this day exactly 20 years ago, the year 2000. On that note, we would like to draw the curtain on today's edition of Today in History. Join me tomorrow, guys, for another edition of Today in History for the 8th of August. Stay safe, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow for Today in History. Bye-bye.